Sunday. Welcome to week 52. Hope you guys all had a great holiday and are looking forward to New Year's. You know, it's been a kind of up and down year for everybody, I think, but you know, there's always hope for 2026, right? I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cut Creations, and I want to welcome you to the Bead Stash Challenge, week 52. So this will be our 52nd project this year as part of the Bead Stash Challenge, and actually we've done, you know, over 100, well, at least close to 100 projects, because there were a few weeks when I was gone, so I didn't do the extra bonus projects, but, excuse me. Anyways, it's hard to believe, but you can find most of those projects out there on YouTube. Today, we are going to draw for a project. I'm probably going to do, I think we'll do our project New Year's Eve, like Wednesday. It should be at noon. I have to double check. I have an appointment in the morning. I just don't know what time I'll be done, but I think it's early enough that I should be home by noon. So that's my plan. I'll post something if that needs to change. But hopefully you can all join me. If not, you can always catch the replay. If you're catching the replay, let me know you're out there. Let me know where you're coming in from. And when you're watching, I'd love to know who's there. It's always fun to interact with people on the live video, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. And you know, I get tired of hearing myself talk. Hopefully you guys don't, but anyways, today I am going to do my drawing and see what we're going to make on Wednesday, and then I thought I'd just make a quick bracelet, you know, something sparkly, a little bit, you know, for New Year's. Last year we made New Year's earrings, so this year we're going to make a bracelet, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. It'll be a quick project today, so let's get us zoomed in. All right. Let's look and see what we're going to make. I also have on my my desk our Fun Mermaid friendship bracelet we made, and the oceany inspired bracelet we made a while back with our homemade clasps. Those all gonna go great together. So anyways, all right, let's start. If you're new to Bead Stash Challenge, which I know not everybody's been out there the whole time, Bead Stash Challenge is a series of cards to help you boost your creativity in your jewelry design. There's 3 types of cards in the decks. There is make cards that tell us what to make. There's use cards that tell us what to use from our stash, hence the bead stash, right? And there's challenge cards to add a little something to our design, whether it's a theme or a design aspect. Depends on which deck you're getting the cards from. But we currently have 5 decks out there. If you're just starting out, you'll want to buy deck 1, which is a general deck. It has, you know, the make projects, everything from earrings to tassels to bracelets and necklaces, right? And then the used things will be things that are found in most people's you know, most people's bead stash. Now, I also, when I try to double check that when I design these cards, that, you know, with the used cards, that it's things that you can probably have in your stash, or you can buy, you know, at your local bead supply store. Hey, Janelda. Yeah, we're getting ready to draw for this final project. I can't believe we made it through. This is our 2nd year in a row that we have made it to week 52. All right. So anyways, our deck 1, you want to start with that one. If you like to add things color, or you need to get out of your rut of doing just things in your favorite color, which I'm guilty of that even still. You want the color expansion deck, which adds everything color. We have the non-jewelry and findings deck, and that helps you, sometimes you feel like you're making too much jewelry and you want to make, it has you make things like keychains or bracelet helpers or things like that. And it also helps you use the findings that are in your stash, because the more you do things, the more of those things you're going to have, whether that's, ear wires, whether that's, bead caps. For me, I rarely use bead caps unless I draw the bead cap card. Okay, so there's that. And then I have two themed decks right now. One's the Sun and Sea deck. So if you're starting to think, because it's winter, about that summer vacation now that Christmas is over, it's all things beachy and summery. And then we have the Desert Southwest deck, which is things from the cultural and natural things that you find in the Desert Southwest. So those are our 5 decks, and you can get them by direct messaging Desert Cat Creations, or you can look on our website. This week we're going to make a dream catcher, so hopefully we can design something that'll get rid of all those bad dreams this year. Have us a nice year of sweet dreams. If you don't know what a bead catcher is, just a second, let me shuffle my cards. Zelda, I so appreciate your participating with me. It's a lot more fun to have people participating in our weekly challenge. I know I've learned a lot from all of you guys, and it's been a lot of fun for me. So this was the dream catcher we made earlier this year. Now I call this my it's my bead. It takes away all the bad clasp dreams. I had to use 2 different kinds of clasps in here, so you can see them in here. So if you have bad dreams about your jewelry breaking, your clasp opening up while you're wearing it or anything, this will protect you from those bad dreams, right? So anyways, that was a fun design, but let's see what we had to use those clasps because that's what we drew in our cards. Okay, normally I wouldn't put clasps in a dream catcher, but that's half the fun, right? We're going to use a skull in our design. All right, so both those cards are from our Desert Southwest deck. We are going to use a focal bead in our design. All right, so basically that just means a big bead that can be the center of your project, right? And we're going to use pearls or shells in our design. I think we can make that happen. Now, the pearls or shells card, it may be the one, we have similar cards in the beach deck as well as the Sun and Sea deck. Just so you know, I use a deck of, I set things aside. Hey, Jeanette, hey, Marianica. I set the cards aside as I use them, right? So the make cards and the use cards have been flipped over. If you're new, you can draw 1 card, 1 use card. You can draw 3, you can draw 5. Draw as many as you want, okay? Our 3rd deck is our challenge deck. Now you'll see that I only have a few here, and that's because I haven't had to flip it over this year. So there's more than 52 challenge cards if you put all 5 of our decks together. All right, but let's see what our challenge for this is going to be. Okay, we are going to have something inspired by a rainforest. So that's our Sun and Sea deck. Rainforest, or they have rainforests in Hawaii. They have rainforests in like Costa Rica, both and many other places. So, you know, when you think of rainforest, so, you know, it may be that you use a bunch of green in your design. It may be that you use things that you would find in the rainforest, you know, animals, plants, any of those kind of things as your inspiration. So we will be putting that together, like I said, on Wednesday. So we will have a rainforest inspired dream catcher to go forward with this year. So, all right. So I wanted to make something a little sparkly today, but I will say I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but you know, I thought I'd just make this short and sweet, and so I pulled out some stuff from, this is from Bargain Bead Box, but you know, it's stuff that's similar stuff is in a lot of your stash. So I thought these are coated agate, and they're nice and sparkly and shiny, right? And then, you know, of course we have some crystals. Because if you're going to do something sparkly, you need crystals, right? And then these are coated hematite beads in a antique brass color. Thought those would look nice. Then I was debating whether to use a couple spacer beads in here. What do you guys think? Do I need to add beads, spacer beads, metal beads, or am I good with just my crystals? So these are kind of, it's like little flowers in the middle. So what do you think? You think that'll make a fun New Year's bracelet? I was thinking of doing a stretchy, although, you know, sometimes it's nice to have something a little fancier. Yes, use the spacers. Okay. Or yes, it's a good combination. I will say they, no spacer beads. All right. Yeah, I don't think they're necessary, you know. So I could just use these two. I just thought that this added a nice touch and kind of makes them sparkle a little bit more in my mind. All right, we'll skip the spacers. Let's get these. These all have like wire this time instead of fish line. Haven't run into that in a while. What do you guys think? Stretchy or with the clasp? Huh? If I do a clasp, I'm just going to do a lobster. But I do have a lobster here I could use, as well as And I have antique brass soft flex here. Stretchy. All right, we'll do stretchy. All right. I agree. Stretchy can be fancy. Now I just have to, decide if I'm just going to do a simple design. I'm going to use a 0.7 millimeter Stretch Magic. I could probably easily use 0.8 or maybe even 1 millimeter for these beads, but just happens to be what I got out. So let's maybe we'll make it extra sparkly and put like sparkle between the clear beads are hard to find the holes in. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put a few on here and then we'll see if we like that design. Which reminds me, Marianica, we gotta design your 2 projects that you asked me about. So one design can be like doing it like this with sparkle between every bead, or we just do the 7 or 8. Oh, yeah. I thought I had 8. I have thin, 0.5 as well, which I think I used that for the stretchy when I was making those Super Duo rings. And I'm putting this second design on here so you guys can see that. Yeah, yes you do, Marianica, you like sparkle. All right, so here's our two options. So this would be sparkle between the hematite and the agate, or we just do one of each. See if I can. So option 1 is sparkle every other bead, and option 2 is just alternating the 3 beads. Option 1, okay. Yeah, I like option 1, and I know Marianica likes the most sparkle, right? So, and like I said, it's for New Year's, so the more sparkle, the better, right? Alrighty. Now I didn't really pre-stretch my thread yet, but I'll do it before I tie it. So are any of you making resolutions for this year? haven't, I don't know, I have a couple resolutions that, you know, are things I need to do that I've been putting off doing, you know, around the house and stuff. Maybe spending a little less time online, except, you know, when I'm running my business or watching good stuff, right? So. Ooh, I like that. I think that's a pretty combination. Yeah, I do that too, Janelda. Hey, Betty. Oh, well, happy birthday to Marty. I hope he has a good one. Hope you guys are, well, I think you guys are getting too much of the weather that's hitting the Northeast, though. But, yeah, aren't these, this is, you know, this is one of those go with everything color schemes, I think. And, you know, I was talking earlier about, you know, how using the cards, it forces me to use different colors. I would say this would not normally have been one of my go-to color schemes, but it's a nice neutral. All right. I think we're almost there. Yeah, this is not a difficult these are nice size beads, so you know it won't be too hard to get or too long. I think one of my New Year's resolutions this year is to give you guys all a break and start working in here. I am not. I am so bad about working off to the side here, so I need to kick myself and remember that my camera's over here. So. Well, that's cool, Janelda. Yeah, I need to do something with that. All right, are we? It looks like, you know, I always find measuring around my wrist is better than measuring the length sometimes. So for me, it's a little long. So I think, let's see if taking 4 off is too many though. Yeah, for those of you that don't do Bargain Bead Box and don't know what Janelda's talking about, this month's theme was called Time Traveler. I actually had a watch in there. So see, that would be exactly right for my wrist. I know it's it'd be a little small for others, but it also lines up my bead design real nicely. All right, now we're going to to stretch. Remember, you gotta stretch it before you tie it, or it's gonna come loose when you wear it. Alright, so alright, so remember, we do the surgeon's knot, so that's I do right over left and under, okay, and then I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to take the left side over and under, and then through it a second time before I tighten it up. I don't know why, but I like to do one more if I can. So it's just right over. And then what I try to do is pull the knot into one of these beads. I think this hematite has the bigger holes, so we're gonna try to thread a second layer through there. Can't tell if it's going through or not. So what I'm doing is stretching the bottom piece so I can try to thread this end through there. I'm going to use my pliers because I can't really tell if I'm making any progress. This is probably the longest part of the project for me, is getting my knot through the center. I mean, you didn't necessarily have to get this whole end through. You could pull the knot through, but I find I trust it a little more. But like I said, it may not work. I feel like it's going, but just very slowly. Once it sticks out the other side, though, then things are super speedy. It's really hard to see what's going on there. I'm going to try. Almost there. I can just see it barely sticking out. I think I have fingernails. Yay, we got it. So, All right, now let's see if we can pull that knot into that bead. It may not go. I guess I should look and see if the other one has a bigger hole. No, their crystals usually have a smaller hole. I don't think a knot is going to go in there. All right, I'm not going to continue to fight with it though. We will trim this. And maybe I'll see if I can do it afterwards. I don't know. All right, so there, a nice neutral sparkle that'll go with whatever. Decided to wear my Christmas stuff for, you know, the last time. Woo-hoo. I also want to show you, I was talking about the other day about how you can add sparkle to things with cup chains. So I did make a couple of little cup chain bracelets. So there's some sparkle there too. If any of you guys are interested in any of these 3 colors of cup chain, let me know, because I have spools of them. So, you know, I had to buy the teal because I love the teal, right? That's what that one is. And then this one is, it's blues and, you know, different shades, blues and clears. So, and then I have one that, this one's slightly thinner. It's kind of a pink, a pink AB, I would say, on these crystals. Don't know that it has a different color, but anyways, if anybody's interested, I can certainly make some of that available. Okay, so, yeah. They have little little end pieces you can get that you pinch. It's kind of like a pinch on to these ends. So, I mean, these are not going to survive much, but it's pretty sturdy. And then it has a little ring that you can then attach something to. So if you're interested in seeing some of that, I can certainly show it to you. I originally bought these, like I said, to use as part of my leather bracelets. Let me grab. Are you attached to? So here's a, this is just a short piece example of how you can use them with leather for a bracelet. So basically you lay it on the leather. This is a design by Kelly over at Kelly's Beads Boutique. And then you know, put beads on the outside. On this one, I did a double strand because that that pinkish one is, like I said, thin. So basically it's on 2 pieces of leather. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's a more sturdy way of finishing them off. But like if you just want something sparkly for that isn't going to get yanked or anything, you know, too hard. it should be fine. I was gonna play with seeing if I could wire wrap the ends and make a solid finish. Oops. Something more sturdy. Yeah, I think this is the, well, I didn't see her finished project, but I saw that she did that. But this would certainly be a way to use leather and cup chain. Because, yeah, I don't know how to finish it off other than using those little things. But, like I said, I was thinking, let's cut a piece off. See, I have a whole spool. In case you want to try. But maybe I will... we will cut a piece off here, and then I was thinking, like, if I used like 24 or 22 gauge wire. So I was thinking just doing a wrap like around this first one, because the chain itself is actually, you know, pretty sturdy. So you could, you know, wrap this a couple times around, and it doesn't seem, you know, too bad. And then maybe make a loop here. Make a small loop next to the top. This is a very sloppy loop, but that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna wrap that around, and then I'm going to, you know, wrap it down a couple. So, you know, you could probably do that. It's not very pretty. I'll have to work on that. Yeah, like I said, I thought I was going to make a bunch of these, the bracelets with the cup chain, but I haven't made any in a while, but maybe we'll make one. Anyways, there's a thought on, you know, attaching something to your end. You know, you could also just wire wrap your cup chain onto something to add that sparkle. All right, it wasn't very pretty, but it would probably work. So anyways, I'll play with it. Maybe we'll create something, huh? But like I said, the ends don't seem to be, you know, I can tug on these ends a little bit. I just warn you, if you buy cup chain and you buy the sizes, so if you buy, like, I think this is 2mm cup chain, the end pieces have to be the I think they're 2.3 millimeters. The 2mm works with the, 1.5 millimeter cup chain. So, like I said, if you're interested in playing with it, I have end pieces and cup chain if you want to know. So, anyways, I just thought, it's something a little more sparkly. But I do love the look of it with the, leather and coordinating beads on the outside. This is my my sample. I was making some stuff for people, and they wanted things for like keychains or fobs or something, and so I was just showing them a couple of different things we could make with leather, with beads, with chainmail. Anyways, here we go. Enough of that for today. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me and helping me design my bracelet. And I will be back. Like I said, my goal is Wednesday at noon. I will post if that's not going to work with my appointment, if it runs late or something. But we will plan on doing it. Little wires sticking out of my on my desk from these beads. All right, but we'll plan on Wednesday. And then next Sunday, it's week 1 again. So, week 1, 2026. I have to make a new a new bracelet, or just take my 2025 off, right? So, and we'll talk a little bit about, what my plans are for next year, and we'll kick it off, and hopefully, you guys will continue to find it fun and play along. Definitely have a couple of kits in mind for next year. I have some ideas for cards. I haven't totally, I'm going to look into what the current printing costs are. See what's going on there before I make a commitment to ordering new cards. So, but there's always, I do like to come up with things for to go with the kits for you. I'm kind of thinking, last year was definitely a Southwesty themed year, and I know that's not for everybody. The year before we did a lot of beachy related stuff. So, if you guys ever have any suggestions or things you want to see in the cards, or, as kits, just let me know. And you never know, I might make it happen. Okay. So, all right, you guys have a great rest of the week until Wednesday, which will be on early, and then that gives me a little bit longer break. I will say one thing next year. I do have several trips planned, so there may be a few weeks where I actually don't do anything. This past 2 years I've tried to keep up, but I have a kind of a lengthy trip I'm taking in March, and I don't think I want to attempt to take any stuff with me. So it's gonna be hard, because what do I do when I'm sitting around? But yeah, there will be some breaks in next year, which there hasn't been the last 2 years. But it's been fun, and you never know, I might change my mind. I might make some stuff ahead of time, or just play catch up when I get home. We'll see. All right, I will see you, like I said, Wednesday at noon, unless I post otherwise that I'm going to be running late. You travel in February, okay. Yeah. I try to stay close to here in January and February with the gem show and everything, but that's a long ways for you guys, but not a bad place to be in February. So, all right, I will catch you all Wednesday. Please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, YouTube, or subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you ever have any questions, just direct message me, or if you can't figure out how to do that, just comment on one of my posts or my videos, and I will respond as soon as possible. So, see you all on Wednesday. Bye.